The devil's on the loose and he's dancing with the mummy.
Deep from the bowels of the Macabre Theater Laboratory, we bring you Macabre Cast. There is nothing wrong with your streaming service. You are exactly where you should be, where the slush puppy machine is always on and cold. Your favorite horror mag is on the rack, discreetly placed between Women's Wear Daily and Cosmopolitan. I'm your host, Doc Mark, along with my very merry counterpart, Karis the Little Mummy, here to bring you the latest episode of Macabre Cast, where we'll be dropping ours where they belong and adding them where they don't. This is a safe space for those of us who know that even if we are visited by 3 ghosts, inside of a week, we'll be back to our miserable ways. Because, unfortunately for some, like me, that's just the reality. Newbies welcome, regulars welcome back, and worshippers, join us. It's Christmas. Just try not to kill the spirit. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Tell a friend to do the same. Even that guy that thought Black Christmas was a lost Melvin Van Peebles film. Yeah, that guy. If you'd like to interact with fellow Monster Kids, follow the Facebook page, Macabre Theater. It's there where you can send me a voice message through Messenger and be part of the show. A link can be found in the description of this episode. Macabre Cast, episode 136, the low-key, superfluous Christmas show, begins now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Adoro il cast macabre.
And now it's time for a real-world Christmas horror. Here's your Christmas ghost host, Doc Mark.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Renee Carr states that people who commit violent acts during the holidays are often consumed by feelings of rejection, usually by a love interest or a former lover. These attackers are often fixated on the fantasy of holidays being synonymous with love and family. Well, on Christmas Day in 2011, Aziz Yazdanpana, dressed up as Santa Claus, entered his estranged wife's house in Dallas, Texas, and just began shooting. The family had just finished opening gifts, and 6 people were taken that day, including his wife and 2 children. Completely overwhelmed by the situation, Yazin took his own life, but not before trying to frame his brother-in-law by placing the gun in his dead hand.
I think you legitimately have something wrong with you. I mean, you're sick. You do need to be visited by 3 ghosts.
Come on, Karis. It's a horror podcast. Give me a break. We review horror movies. Sometimes we discuss real-life horror. And sometimes we hear from you-know-who.
Merry Christmas, Horror Chat, Matt.
Hey, Dark Mark, Little Cars, and all the Monster Kids hanging out at the big, low-key Christmas party. It's Horror Chat Matt coming down the chimney to check in. So, Doc, no topic this week, so I'm going to give a quick review of Osgood Perkins' Keeper that I just watched this past weekend. And I have to say, there's a reason why this thing did not last very long in the theaters. I'm not saying it's unwatchable, but it's certainly not the best movie I've ever seen. Judging by the dates that were used in this movie, I think this thing may have been sitting on the shelf waiting for distribution somewhere. And with Perkins Osgood's new popularity, I think it got some limited theatrical run, and now it's on demand or streaming or whatever the heck they call it these days. And I have to say, I hate using these shredded words, but it's definitely a slow burn at the beginning. And there's only 4 actors in this thing, and I have to say, I didn't recognize any of them. They weren't bad, but they weren't great. They're just kind of meh, especially the main character. I forget her name. Like I said, I didn't recognize any of them, but she was very unrelatable. Actually, everybody in the movie I felt was kind of hard to root for and even like. And other than some great atmosphere, and I loved the cabin that they were staying in. I'd love to spend a weekend there. I was very isolated out in the middle of the woods. And the other thing that I really enjoyed, there was definitely some creepy visuals and creatures, ghosts, phantoms, whatever the heck these things were supposed to be. They were actually pretty cool and kind of saved the movie. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 overall. Definitely check it out when you get a chance, but I certainly wouldn't, rush to go see this thing or rush to click buy or however you watch your movies. Or even better yet, probably just wait till it's for free. And Dark, you and Chicago Tina, and I think a couple other people were mentioning the Blair Witch Project when it comes to folk horror movie. Again, I'm not a big fan of folk horror movies, but I do remember the hype and the media press that was going on for this movie and the promotions that were done. And I just want to tell a quick story about going to see this movie. My wife at the time, she was my fiance, and a group of friends from work, we were dying to see this thing. The hype machine was in full effect, and we wanted to watch it. And this is in the olden days before you could get tickets before you got to the theaters. So we had to go up to the box office and no picking out your selected seat. You actually just bought a ticket and bought a seat, and you got in there and you hoped for the best. And unfortunately for us, the best was the first row. And let me tell you, the first row for a regular movie isn't the best place to be in, looking up at that big screen with the sore neck. But you had found footage, which is right up there with folk horror for me, of being an unpleasant viewing experience. And I have to say, I couldn't stand this movie. I thought a whole lot of nothing happened. I left the theater. I was in a bad mood. I said, this is what everybody's freaking out over. But I will admit, later on that night, I could not stop thinking about the ending. So maybe it was an okay movie, or at least a great ending tacked onto a subpar movie. But anyways, that's my Blair Witch story. And since it is the Christmas holiday season, I want to wish all the Monster Kids happy holidays and Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. Hope you have a fun and safe holiday with your friends and family. And in that vein, I want to give you a top 5 Christmas movies. Yes, we're not talking horror here. I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to give you my top 5 holiday movies in top 5 in a particular order this time. Number 5, I'm going with Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 4, Die Hard. Number 3, Gremlins. Number 2 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, a movie that when I was younger, I liked it, but I didn't think it was that great. But the older I get, the more and more, every single year with the viewings, I relate more and more to Clark with the stress of holidays and families and feeling nostalgic for Christmases and relatives in the past that unfortunately aren't with us anymore. So that's number 2, and then number 1 is my all-time favorite, A Christmas Story. Anyways, I hope all the Monster Kids out there have a great week and get everything they're looking for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hope everything, all your dreams and wishes come true. And as always, make mine Macabre Cast.
Thanks for the review on The Keeper Horror Chat. I was curious why that came and went so quickly, and that makes sense. if it had been shelved. And top 5 non-horror Christmas films? Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it till you mentioned it. I'm going to give you a top 5 in no particular order. Number 5 would be Christmas Vacation. Number 4 would be Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Number 3, Scrooge the Musical with Albert Finney. Number 2 would be The Holiday with Jack Black. And number 1 would probably be The Polar Express. I remember putting a single sleigh bell in each of my kids' stocking after we saw that movie. That is a very fond memory that I hold close to my heart. Merry Christmas, Horror Chat Matt. And we look forward to hearing from you again next week.
Dark Mark's low-key, superfluous Christmas show. Brought to you by Depends, because you either want to go in your pants or you don't.
Hey Monster Kids, Laura Horror here.
And Jack-o'-lantern.
And we wanted to wish all you Monster Kids a very, very Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Bye everyone.
Doc Mark and Karis the Little Mummy in A Macabre Carol. Brought to you by Jack Steaks. If you don't like spicy, too bad.
In life, I was your partner, Karis, the Little Mummy. What do you think? I'm a mummy, dummy.
What could you possibly want with me, Karis?
I wear the chain I forged in life. 'Tis a ponderous chain. I'm afraid to say that yours was this thick and this long 7 years ago. The chain you have forged, Dark, is far more monstrous than this.
Why don't you tell me, Karis? Why do you haunt me? Why do you haunt me this Christmas season?
There is still time for you, Dark. You will be visited by 3 ghosts.
I think I'd rather not. I've got horror news to do and some other stuff for the show.
The former things have passed away now. Expect the first when the bell tolls 1, then 2, then 3.
Couldn't I see them all at once? You know, 3 birds, 1 stone.
I must go now. The mom and pop video store in hell awaits.
Wait, Karis. What's it like? You know, being dead.
It's so boring. And nobody likes jokes down there. Goodbye, Dark Mark.
3 ghosts. What do I have to talk about with 3 ghosts? Is this because I said I didn't like the movie The Witch last week?
I am the ghost from the past.
My past?
VHS past. Horror in stores long gone. Come, let us walk.
I remember this place. It was owned by a Pakistani and his wife. This is Video Village.
A place you remember fondly.
Fondly? I could walk there blindfolded. Let's rent something. I know. A horror Christmas film. 1974's Black Christmas.
My time grows short. We must go.
What?
I am the ghost of present horror.
Yeah, I was just with the ghost of VHS past, and, I'm so sad. I miss those video store days.
Dark, drink this.
What is it?
The milk of streaming services.
It tastes bitter. Synthetic.
Come now, Dark. 'Tis the present. Thousands of horror movies at your fingertips. 40K, HD.
But disposable.
Disposable?
Yes, back in the day, you selected a few horror films, you committed, You watched them. Now it's just way too easy to dismiss a film and start it, stop it, dismiss it.
Dark Mark, we never have enough time to watch all the horror we'd like to watch. And one day, we aren't here anymore.
Yeah, gee. Think of all the horror movies I'll miss when I'm gone. Gone. Well, I guess this is it. You must be the final spirit, ghost, whatever. I guess you're the future of horror, right? You're the ghost that doesn't talk. The Michael Myers mask now seems appropriate. Well, do your best. What are you pointing at? Oh, a video shop? I guess things came full circle in the future, did they? Hey, there's a shopkeeper in there talking with some customers. Let's go. Let's go see what the future of movie rentals will be, might be, could be, whatever.
Okay. So you'd like the whole franchise of Halloween films, eh? Okay. All 40 of them, I take it?
40?
Let me just insert this microchip into your head. There we go. That should do it. How does it look?
Way neato. It's in Super 8D.
Spirit, am I to understand the future of horror video is microchip implants? Are these kids of the future really going to nostalgically retain these memories the way I fondly look back on Video Village? Are these things that will be or might be? Spirit, I can bear no more. Please, take me away from here. Take me away! Oh, I'm back. I'm back in the lab. No microchips to be found?
I came in a while ago, and you were asleep on the table.
Karis, you're alive!
What? Of course I'm alive. Well, as dead alive as a mummy can be.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a macabre carol. I guess in the end, it doesn't matter how we watch them, as long as we have horror movies. Watch them however way you'll want to.
Dark Mark's low-key, superfluous Christmas show. Brought to you by Gordon's Fish Sticks, the lunch predominantly consumed by serial killers when they were children.
Is this something you could share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry?
Greetings, Dark Mark and Karis the Little Mummy. Scary Larry here. Making a list, checking it twice. Looking at which Christmas horror is naughty or nice. Hey Karis, what do you get if you deep fry Santa? Crisp Kringle. Since no one gave a topic, I'm going to make one, sorta. I'm giving my recommendations for Christmas horror, in no particular order. Classics like Black Christmas, Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Then you've got Krampus and Violent Night. Meanwhile, avoid the craptacular It's a Wonderful Knife or Red Christmas. The equivalent of getting underwear as a stocking stuffer. Okay, couple movie reviews. I have a to-watch list for months I've been meaning to get to. One on that list being Lair of the White Worm from 1988. Decent movie for being free with Prime. It's listed as a comedy horror. British comedies are hit or miss with me, more miss than hit. A hit, to me, was Shaun of the Dead. This, for comedy, was a bit of a miss. There's always some morbid humor in horror, but it only detracted from the movie in this instance. 2 3/4 stars. Now, if you're a Hugh Grant fan, this one is one of his earliest film roles, so you may want to check it out. Being free kind of makes it worth it. So last night, I went out to see the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. Right off the bat, I was pleasantly surprised. While it is set in present day, it was made to look like a gritty 80s horror movie, down to looking like it was shot on 35mm. Quite a celluloid feel. No spoilers, but they did take an interesting twist on the original, and they did it well in my opinion. There was an odd sequence involving Nazis, but they sort of made it fit into the plot. I do give overall 3.5 stars out of 4 for keeping me entertained. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
So this is good news, Scary, because about Silent Night, Deadly Night, because I'm really intrigued to see this and was hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that it was good. So that's good news. Can't wait to see it. Lair of the White Worm, I saw many years ago. I didn't care much for it. It's supposedly based on a Bram Stoker book. And yes, they sort of made it a comedy. They should have went the other way with it. Not interested in that film. But definitely interested in seeing Silent Night, Deadly Night. And, you know, before you goody-goodies out there start accusing us monster kids of stealing away the Christmas and making it some kind of Halloween Part 2 with our Christmas horror films, let me bring to your attention the song The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And I'm going to read some of the lyrics right now and show you Christmas has always been spooky. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of glories of Christmases long, long ago. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for new Christmas horror, and I recently heard about a BBC anthology series called Inside Number 9, each show somehow interloping or including Number 9. Apparently there are 9 seasons, and it ran from 2014 to 2024, and I believe it can be found on Prime or YouTube, anywhere like that. And there is a Christmas episode titled The Devil of Christmas, which is all about Krampus. And there's another film out there, it's titled, it's from 2024, called Carnage Christmas, that I have to check out. As always, Scary, thank you for seeing it so we don't have to. And Merry Christmas. There is no doubt about it. We need new Christmas horror. Did you hear what I said, young filmmakers out there in the world? So, if I have to revisit one to suggest to you monster kids, I've reached back to review again a film I haven't beaten to death. I have talked about it and reviewed it before, but I haven't beaten it to death. It's not like I'm going to come on here and talk about the same old ones I talk about every year. And this year would be 2022's The Apology. Written and directed by Alison Locke. A snowstorm with some wicked howling wind, carrying with it a dark secret. All just in time for Christmas. Darlene is a recovering alcoholic, and she's getting ready to host her family for the holiday celebration. This is also the 19th anniversary of her daughter's disappearance. A thunderstorm rolls in, and with it comes her brother-in-law, who was uninvited, bringing with him a horrendous truth from the past. If you like slow burns, then this is the film for you, because it's masterfully done. Great acting all around. This little Christmas gem kept me engaged from start to finish. Dark Mark gives this 3.5 stars out of 5.
Go check it out. Go check it out.
Have a very Merry Christmas, monster kids, or whatever you may celebrate this year. Make it count. If this wasn't your year, well, I see it on the horizon. Next year is your year. Join us next week as we celebrate the end of 2025 and the new beginnings of 2026. What were your favorite horror films this year? And what were your worst?
Dark Mark's Low-Key Superfluous Christmas. Brought to you by Red 40, the artificial food coloring dye derived from petroleum and suspected to cause allergic reactions and worsen ADHD symptoms, but approved for use by the FDA.
Goditi questo episodio de Cast Macabre.
Thank you, Maria Monstalia, for telling our Italian friends to enjoy this episode of Macabre Cast. The absent space at holiday gatherings is vast. At Christmas, that space is gargantuan. My emptiness each year doesn't recover or subside. Any solace comes from hearing or seeing something I know would have made you laugh. I would like to believe that Christmas in the Promised Land is an angelic experience that is far beyond my comprehension. Your missing presence here is a void that can't be filled. Merry Christmas, Mom. This is a Macabre Theater production.